Welcome to Mike's Literature Minute, where books can be heard and enjoyed. My name is Michael. I've been listening to audiobooks since the mid-'80s. Today's sample of what I was listening to and thought you might be interested in is a book called Dungeon Crawl Carl by Matt Dinniman and read by Jeff Hayes. Now, this is a literary RPG or a lit RPG. And what that means is it's very reminiscent of some of the books that came out in the 80s where they were tied into things like Dragon Quest and Dungeons and Dragons. It is not a choose-your-own adventure, but it is like listening to or reading about a game of Dungeons and Dragons, a game I still play at 51 years old. I play 5e, started out with version 2. Yes, I'm a nerd. I don't care what you think. The book itself, it's a good one listen or one read book. I don't know if I'm ever going to go back to it, but it was funny. There was some slapstick. The world ends, and only the people who were outside get sucked into this dungeon, and they got to figure out how to stay alive and survive amongst goblins and orcs and plants that attack. I mean, it's a good one listen. It is a very good one listen. Now, I didn't like the fact that in this world they've been sucked into, there is like 15 or 16 different levels. And I'm like, okay, in 13 hours of listening, that's going to be a fast-paced book. It's not. They sit there and they break it up. So if you want to see what happens in the next level, you got to get the next book. Not a big fan of that, but I'm also not an author. On the collegiate scale, I give this book, I'm going to give it about a 2.8, maybe a 3. It did keep me entertained. It does cause you to smile. If a book can cause you to smile, it automatically is doing pretty good. But the fact that it's serial, you have to listen to the next, to find out what happens, like you have to listen to the next book in the series. I'm not a big fan of that. And the reason being is if an author, they start over time, the books start to, eventually they crash, and you spend all this time and all this money and you're reading them or listening to them. And at the end, you found out you wasted your time because the later books weren't as good as the first book. It happens. Well, what do you think? Have you read the book or have you listened to the book? Comment down below. Have a conversation. Let's talk about the books. Is there a book you'd like me to listen to? I've actually gotten several book ideas from several friends of mine, and most of them turned out to be halfway decent. So any comments or questions, put them in the comments, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.